Hey guys, welcome to this week's Survivor Chat.
Wow, this was an epic episode.
Ooh, I'm so excited to talk about this. I just got an excitement quiver.
I know. This is episode 10, by the way. This is our chat. Debbie was voted off last time.
I just had to see her go because she was very entertaining.
But the Three Stooges are awful cocky.
They put on their freaking show at Tribal with their immunity idols last week.
They're strutting around like a bunch of roosters.
Yep. But Ty is like, we need to end this nonsense with hiding the tools and everything. We need to build these bridges back up and like make this tribe one again.
All right, so Scott decides that he's going to make his demands to Aubrey.
He's like,
to
you know
build
what?
These bridges.
I'm going to be the bigger person and not be pet. No! You freaking hid all this stuff and now you're freaking like, you have to do this or you're not getting your shit back.
That was really dickly.
Yeah, so he was like, listen, we want Sydney out. So if you do that, everything will go back to normal.
All right, so it's reward challenge time.
It's endurance.
This was a great twist on the endurance.
They always make it even better.
I know. You had to have your foot on a beam that's holding a bunch of clay pots.
Right. So you have to have a gentle touch.
Yes.
To hold those pots up.
And you better hope that wind doesn't pick up.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to choose your reward. It's either food, like the biggest ass hamburger you've ever seen in your life.
That thing was like 2 faces.
With bacon.
It was like a face swap.
Yeah. And beer and whatnot.
Double face swap. Yeah, it had all the fixins. Fries, everything. Cookies.
Yeah. An advantage in the game.
What? They didn't say what it was yet, but you know it's going to be good. Or letters from home. In a beautiful placemat made into an envelope.
You know it was from Pier 1.
I love that. Yeah, so, okay, it's all great that they get to choose their reward, but this is where it gets even better. You choose your reward before the challenge starts, and then you only compete against the people who are competing for the same reward.
So there's 3 prizes.
Ooh, unless, like, nobody chose something.
Right.
But everybody chose
something.
Yeah.
Imagine if there was only one person and like
that's
you forfeited.
The idea. Like you could totally win that way.
That's pretty
cool. So
cool.
you have to try and think too, like who's gonna go for what? Who can I beat?
Right.
So there's a lot of strategy in there.
Right. So for the love letters, it was only Joe and Julia.
And Joe was out almost immediately. It was an easy win for Julia.
Yeah.
She got the letters and she got to sit down.
Yeah. All right. So then the food, it was Scott, Jason, and Michelle.
Right.
Scott was out first. He's 1,000,000 feet tall. This is not his challenge.
Yeah. So then it came down to Jason and Michelle got that huge ass burger. Woo! She won for the food.
That was bigger than her face. She could have done a face swap with that. I would have liked to have seen that,
right?
In fact.
All right. Now, last but not least, advantage. We got Ty, Sydney, and Aubrey.
Sydney was out first because this is not a Muscle Girls challenge.
No.
It's tough on the muscles when you have to stretch them out like that. So it came down to Ty and Aubrey. And I'm like, damn, Ty's got this. He has shown himself to be killer in these endurance
But Aubrey
contests.
Was like, yo.
She was determined.
I'm going to give this everything I got. She told Jeff, like, I don't even want the advantage. I'm just doing this to show that I can do it.
She wants it.
I know, right?
She wants it. All right, so Ty won the advantage.
Aww.
He has to read it in secret.
As much as I love Ty, I was worried about this because we know that Ty is so close to Scott and Jason. I was like, they're going to get the advantage too. And you know, Aubrey needs help. She needs a little something.
She needs a little something, something. So Ty's advantage was that he won an extra vote at Tribal.
Oh, snap.
That's effing huge.
That is a huge
deal. And he
deal.
can use that until there's 5 people left.
Right.
But remember what happened to the last chucklehead who had that same advantage.
Yeah, but that advantage was a little different because he like took somebody else's vote away.
Oh.
Like, I don't think this one takes a vote away. You just get an extra in the mix. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's similar, but a little bit different.
Yeah. So maybe Ty won't be voted out then.
Okay. So, Julia, back at camp, she's enjoying her letters from home. Oh my God. when
she was really digging it.
I don't blame her. I just couldn't get over the face. She was like, but it was great. I was very happy for her.
It was emotional.
I was very happy for her.
All right, so the girls are still together.
Sort of.
With Joe.
Well, Julia's like, you know what? We need to get these idols out of here. So she's like, let's all vote for Ty, flush these idols.
Aubrey does not trust Julia.
Yeah, she sees how smart she is. Julia is an amazing gamer.
Yeah.
She's got a lot going on up there. And Aubrey recognizes that because she's the same way. So she's like, this girl's good. Might need to get rid of her.
This girl's good, but I am better. So she goes and talks to Ty. And they commiserate.
She's like, Julia wants to get rid of your idol.
And Ty's like, eh?
What? Yeah. I mean, he had to expect that was coming.
Yeah. So Scott...
Well, Ty goes and tells Scott and Jason about it.
Yes.
And they're just like, well, we should get rid of Aubrey.
At the next tribal.
Ah!
What?
Yeah, it was crazy because Ty was like so excited to tell them like, oh, Aubrey's on our side, like she's gonna work with us, and they were like, let's get rid of her.
Yeah, that was so cold. So it's time for the immunity challenge.
All right.
And it's another endurance. This time...
This looked brutal.
Yeah. You have to hold 2 discs out.
With your fingers. Fingers.
Yeah, because they measure you, and it's like you can't put your palms because they measured you.
Right.
And those discs are weighed down with some clay pots on each of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe was out first. After several seconds.
He's just not good at these challenges.
No.
These are not his type of challenge.
And then Scott was out. And then Julia, Ty, and Michelle.
All right, so it came down to Aubrey, Sydney, and Jason. And this was intense.
Yeah.
Can I do my Aubrey impression?
Yes.
She was like...
She was dancing around. She was
doing this kick line.
Yeah.
Girl, what are you
that
doing?
That is not that smart. So Sydney was out
it came
first
down
out of those 3.
to Aubrey and Jason. This was intense.
It was a real pissing contest because Jason spit, then Aubrey spit.
That was hilarious.
Then somebody growled, and then the other person growled, and
Yeah.
then it was a real...
They were out there for a long time.
Over, like, almost 2 hours, right?
Possibly. It was
Yeah.
definitely at least an hour 15. I remember that check-in.
Right, yeah. So, unfortunately, it was Jason that won.
No! Oh my god, I was rooting so hard for Aubrey.
Aubrey had some miraculous saves.
She did.
But it really came down, and it was Jason.
Okay.
All right.
So now I'm worried because we know that there's a chance that Aubrey could be going home this week.
Right. So Julia, she's playing both sides, and the boys know it, and they're okay with it.
They're like, you know what? She's getting information for us. It's all good.
They want to make her a full sister wife, though, and they make a final deal with her. And
Final 3 deal?
yeah, and they say, let's get rid of Ty. He's out. You're in.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's big.
Whoa.
So then Sydney and Aubrey try to get Ty on their side because that's the only way they see.
They've got to do something to flush out those idols and...
With Jason having immunity and the idols in play, they need to make a huge move, and they need Ty to do it.
Right. So Ty is like, I don't know if I can go against the guys. Like, my heart is telling me one thing, my brain is telling me another thing. Ah!
All right, so it's time for Tribal. And the boys... Hey, Jeff wants to know, what's up with the Strictly Dickly combo from last time? Is that going to continue?
Yes. So again, they were like, blah, 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 we're the best, we got idols. And then Ty was just sitting there like...
Yeah.
Like, he was not talking, and Jeff was like, what's up with that?
Yeah, so the boys are still cocky as hell. Jason says, none of us is going home. I'm not going home, Ty's not going home, and Scott's not going home either. So,
all right. So then they talk about Audrey's...
Aubrey.
Sorry. Aubrey. She's like my favorite too.
I know.
They talk about Aubrey's like miraculous performances in the challenges this week.
And then they go
She's
through...
not just a brain.
Right. They go through the whole, how did we get to these positions in the tribes? You're not just a brain. You've got more brawn than Jason. You're not just a brawn. You are just a brawn.
No, but you could tell they were freaking buttering Aubrey up before they were going to vote her out because they're like, oh, you're so great and we respect you and blah, blah, blah.
No one caught the garbage truck dumped off the top of the Empire State Building. Subtlety of Jeff's, though. You had it, then it's over.
Hint, hint. All right.
Because Jeff knows what's going down. He talks to the crew.
He does. All right. It's time for the vote. Things are getting intense.
Yeah.
So they do the vote. Jeff is like, hey, yo, does anyone want to play a hidden immunity idol?
And Julia says,
Ty,
play the idol.
Play
And Scott says,
don't play it. So Ty's like,
yeah. Scott gets the most amount of votes.
okay, so then everybody's just like, what's going on? So then Scott is looking at Ty. I have to say, the next few seconds of this
We're brilliant.
were probably some of the best edited TV I have seen
Ever.
in years.
Yes.
In years. It was amazing. Scott was looking at Ty, then Ty's looking over at Jason, Jason's looking at Ty, and they're like...
It was like that scene in Rocky Horror where it's like, Dr. Scott.
Janet, Brad, Rookie. That one, yeah. It was crazy, and they were waiting for Ty to pull out his idol so that they could use the super idol and save Scott. But
And Scott's like...
And then Ty goes, no.
We screamed
And then-
so loud.
And then Scott was like...
heard us down the block.
Wow.
Yeah. Hashtag wow.
Halfway through the episode, I was like, what if Ty flips and does not use the idol?
Yeah.
And it happened. And it was just like, oh my God!
Best moments ever on Survivor. Definitely top 10.
It was so
It
great.
was right up there when Parvati pulled out that second idol.
And then, guess what happened? Scott left with the idol!
Oh, what am I gonna do with this? I should have given it to Jason.
Oh my God! So now Jason is idol-less too.
Oh.
Whoa.
Jeff was right.
Alright, so next time, Ty is on top of the world. He's got his idol, he's got his new crew.
I just hope Mark the Chicken doesn't pay for the sins
I would be
of the
so
father.
upset if they hurt that chicken.
So Julia and Jason want revenge, and you know what? They want chicken.
No!
I know, that's so Let us know what you thought in the comments. And until next time, much love.
love.
Edit.